And we're introduced to our first boss of the game. Um, Logically, I don't understand how a giant scorpion could get on a moving train and no one would notice. But he's pretty simple, to be totally honest. Yeah, if you just point downwards, with Billy's handgun, because it is a tad bit more powerful. Um, yeah, you could just aim him. He has mainly two attacks. He has like the big swipe where he swipes his tail and he knocks you halfway across the train, and like little jabs with his thing. But if you just shoot him once he gets up close, he kind of repeats the same animation and just kind of spam it. What I'm doing. And it's just that with a handgun. Um, this is the normal difficulty, so he's not really that hard. It doesn't take that much damage. I believe where I beat him with just the handgun, which in the long run kind of saves on shotgun ammunition. Which kind of saves on shotgun ammunition. I think I'll be fine. I'm not sure yet. Which saves on shotgun ammunition in the long run, because later in the game, one of the characters, they can't both carry handgun and handgun bullets. If they only carry a handgun for backup, it's fine. At some point, they're gonna have to carry it because sometimes they sneak a boss on you, and you don't even know when it's coming. But yeah, just repeat the same pattern. He's pretty simple. I didn't count, so okay. And also too, I exit the room because he does like this last maneuver to try to either kill you or take damage, which he'll swing his tail. But if you leave the room and come back as in normal Resident Evil, or at least in this generation, you leave and come back, they'll just disappear. And with him moving on, we get the panel opener, which will help us once we reunite with Rebecca. Yes, I'll climb down the ladder. And also too, the shotgun, the hunting rifle, just saves us on space. Like I was saying with item management, we kind of need to, save items or save space for items. But speaking of which, I made the foolish mistake of not taking it with me. But again, this is what I mean by backtracking. Um, I know I left a couple of zombies down there, so. But if you're really good at the game, though, you can just avoid them. But I don't want to take that risk. I got one bullet and some shotgun shells, and I can't necessarily throw the shells at the zombies, so I'll come back and get it. And also too, I figure I show it off. It's a shotgun, and unlike other games where the shotgun usually takes one slot, heavy weapons in this particular game take up two slots. So things like a shotgun, another weapon we'll figure out, I'll get later. They take two slots, and that's not including ammo. So, and I guess also too is because the first by this time it's 2002 when this released on the GameCube. We were at this point, Resident Evil was moving more toward, early signs of moving toward action, the action games anyway. Resident Evil 2, gave you a lot more ammo than you needed. Resident Evil 3, changed the mechanic of ammunition, but still had to ration out ammunition. Definitely with the Magnum rounds. there's about maybe 3 full clips of Magnum ammunition, but we'll get to that when the time comes. But like I was saying though, as far as Resident Evil having not scares, because as you can see in my previous Resident Evil playthrough for the PS1, I pretty much had the shotgun after I left the garden house. So, but that's because I played it so many times. But when it first initially released, items were scarce. Not yeah. Headshots, yes. Um, like I was saying, this, because items were scarce, you had to item management. And again, there's some in Resident Evil 2 and 3, but they kind of switched it up. And also, too, the item drop was already implemented in the 64 version. So I guess them trying to get them keeping it in. Also, revokes more. I gotta save ammunition, gotta item management. It's a strategic part of the game. Why not? And also, too, item boxes would probably make it more easy as hell. But like how we gave the key to Billy, we're now giving the lockpick to Rebecca. She's gonna take these herbs. But she had a knife with her, so I don't know why she just couldn't pick the lock with the knife. I don't know. Only Jill has a lockpick kit on her. Nah. Well, well, maybe. Because lockpicking isn't really like everyone needs to know. It would be nice for everyone to know. But as we can see, STARS isn't really... They're special... I don't know. They're not special forces. They're special tactics within the Raccoon City Police Department, which is preposterous. Taxpayers just pay out the ass. If I can get off this thing here, I don't know how that zombie got up there, but he's on fire. But we have to reunite with Billy now, so we'll make our way back downstairs. Billy. And also another mechanic, as Rebecca just showed us, we can call for our partner. The Y button calls them, either calls them to stick to me, which is the closest person. And that only happens if we're in the same room. If they're in a different room, really can't do that. But it also orders them to stay put, just in case, to check ahead or whatnot. As far as item management, we're also introduced to another mechanic. Whenever the two are together, once you go to your item inventory, you can swap items in between one another. You can swap bullets, you can swap, guns, health items. You can swap all the items in the main 6 slots, not the personal slots. So you won't see Billy handing this lighter to Rebecca. But that also is another feature in the game. And also too, they give you 12 slots total, so they figure 12 slots. You figure it out. Dogs. The computer AI by himself. For this game, he's not that bad. The computer AI. So when you're like here, where I'm controlling Rebecca and the computer is controlling Billy, it's not that bad. Just make sure that item management. Like, I wasted a shotgun round on that dog, which is fun. This particular room, I would think, it's just a room where stuff is stored. That gold ring, we will we just picked up from that dog, that the dog cage, will become important later. We need another item for us to even use it. So. And not sure if I have enough space. I know this particular part. Okay, okay, I do. I was making sure that I had enough space in this particular section of the game, because now we're introduced to another. It's not a weapon. Well, also too, this is a puzzle. If you keep Billy or Rebecca, doesn't matter. Keep one at the furthest of the train, and you move the other one near the green panel here. Go do this. Which will lift that up, and then now we are, and the other person picks it up. And now we are introduced to one of the most annoying items in the game. As you can see, it gives you the manual. One of the most annoying items in this game, and why the item box would be so much better in this particular game. We have the hook shot. The hook shot allows us to get to further places throughout the game. Now these are special. Granted, these are special, things we have to go up to. But, and also too, it's like my first time when I played this game, because at the time, 2001, I must have just got into high school. But I had the money to get this, and I was very excited when I got this, because I was the only member of my family that owned a GameCube and owned GameCube games, so I was excited. But this particular part must have took me about a few days for me to actually realize what I needed to do. And again, back in 2001, 2002, internet isn't as promised, or isn't as isn't such easy access as it is now. Now I can look up on my phone and look up a walkthrough in seconds and minutes. But usually, because the household I lived in didn't have internet, I usually had to wait a day for me to go to school, look it up, and then come back home and make sure I write it down nicely. And throw his head off. Make sure I write it down nicely, or at least a complete, even write my own walkthrough down to make sure I get everything right. Because if I messed up, I pretty much would have to wait the next day. And Nintendo releases games on weird days. This is, since the days of, well, back then, even the previous generation, like the 64, PlayStation days, games weren't really dedicated to more to the Tuesday, as most games come out now. They come out on Tuesdays. Nintendo still releases them on weird days. Oh, cutscene.